The following is a non-profit fan-made story. The characters and properties in this novel are owned by their respective creators and companies. Please support the official releases. Also, this YouTube novel is rated M. Mature audiences 17 and up. Adult language and explicit violence are present. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, there are a lot of product placements and brands in this novel such as Samsung, Apple, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, etc. None of them are sponsored in this novel. No, seriously, none of them are. Anyway, enjoy.
An awkward moment in time where the top-ranked mutant had just challenged one of the lower ranks to a duel out of nowhere. But Anthony Anderson would quickly respond to her challenge. Well, this is a first. What? That a Class S has challenged a lower rank? Normally it's the opposite, but I'm making the rare occasion. So, do you accept my challenge? Anthony doesn't answer her challenge. He closes his eyes and puts his hands in his pocket. He walks forward, thinking that he might pull a sneak attack. Eleanor gets ready. But he doesn't swing a fist nor kicks her away. He just passively walks past her. Wait, what? Anyway, I think steak and veggies will be nice. Maybe you might have the Mario Brothers cook dinner. Yeah, last time that happened, they nearly burned the house down. The hand of Eleanor places on his right shoulder, stopping him from taking another step. Hold it! You're just gonna walk away like I'm some nobody? Well, what else am I supposed to do? At least give me a fucking answer. I just did. I mean a verbal answer. Oh, well then I decline your challenge. Happy? Anderson grabs her hand and takes it off his shoulder. As he begins to walk away from her, she zooms in front of him, stopping him in his tracks. Oh, I get it. You want something in return. Okay, how about if you beat me, I'll get to do whatever you say. And if I win, vice versa. What do you say? No thanks. What the fuck? Okay, how about I put my top spot on the line against you and I'll make it official. I'd rather not be the center of attention. What if I let you kiss me on the cheek? Can it be on the lips? No! Look, Zeus, I appreciate the offer, but I got better things to do than get caught up in whatever you Class S guys do. Also, thanks to your bullshit yesterday, my hands won't stop generating electricity. Well, that's what you get for— Wait, did you call me Zeus? Yeah. Your hair is white, you shoot lightning, you're Zeus. Eleanor blushes a little. Then she puts her hands on her hips and chuckles. I thank you for calling me after the god of lightning of Greek mythology, but I actually have a nickname, Hellraiser. And that's a lawsuit Clive Barker and Miramax are gonna knock on your door with. I've been called that since 2002. Anyway, you're having this fight. Seriously, enough. Holy shit. What? Are you a coward? Are you a $2 whore on the street that even a pimp wouldn't look at? The sudden comeback came out of nowhere and leaves Hellraiser speechless. Seriously, all because of one punch I laid on you, and even then I didn't want to fight you. That's it right there. That one punch. Not to mention the way you reflected my electric spears like a mirror. That means you have something within you that you probably don't know about. And what would that be? I'm not telling you unless you accept my challenge. Well, then forget it. Anthony walks left to go past her. Eleanor steps in the way. He moves to the right. Again, she gets in the way. He face palms and lets out a heavy sigh out of frustration. He looks at her straight in the eyes. Determination is what he can see within her, and she's definitely determined. You're not gonna leave me alone unless I accept, are you? That is, if you want me to kill you, yes. Then why not kill me right now for what I did? That seems to be your go-to, where it's so easy. Nice Arbiter reference. Anyway, what do I get if I win? Any of the options that I gave you. I'll go for the first option. Anthony's response was so quick it catches her off guard. Nevertheless, Eleanor smirks with delight. Deal. Now then, shall we begin? Are you kidding me? Excuse me? First of all, I wouldn't be able to see you at night. Second off, I don't know if you can tell, but I smell like a fucking grill house. Literally had to suck up literal grease fire and— Oh God. He quickly turns away from a confused Harrington. He convulses and breathes out fire for a brief second. Suddenly, he arches up and lets out a massive stream of fire from his mouth like a dragon. Eleanor is astonished and shocked. Anthony stops and breathes in heavily. That's new. Never done that before. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought. He's the one. Anthony continues to breathe out fire in the air. If my theories are correct, he should have the capabilities of being what he is. And maybe, if it works out well, then I might figure out what the connection is between it and Gamera. But I have to take my time with this. She looks up to her right. But for how long, though? King Bowser might invade San Fran tomorrow or probably the next day. I'm not sure. But I shouldn't risk it. Although, I might just risk it after all. Can we do our fight tomorrow? Fine. Whatever. The old airfield at Alameda at 12 noon. You better not be late. I'll find you if you are. She leaps into the air and dashes off in the direction of her home. Why did you not run away like I told you? Dude, if I did that, she would have caught up with me. And she would have found my house. I do see your point. Besides, there's something in me that I don't know about. Whatever happened last night can't be just shenanigans. There has to be something within me that I've yet to discover. And using Zeus might help me out on that. I wish you didn't have this kind of mindset. Well, I've been trying to figure out who I am for 10 years, alright? Starting tomorrow, it's time for me to get some answers. Now, let's go home and get this stink off. He dashes forward with great speed towards his home. Popping out of an alley, Hal and Jeff overheard everything that the two mutants have been chatting about. I think we've found him. Hang on, we don't know if he's Dovahkiin or not. Might be some wannabe. Oh, so you want to show this to King Bowser and have him turn us into mushroom and turtle stew? You know what? I think we should check out the fight if possible. The old Alameda airfield, she said? A ship sounds its horn. The wailing sound indicates that it is now departing from the modernized Hunters Point Naval Shipyard. The ship that is going out to sea is one of the U.S. Pacific Fleet's main cruisers, the USS Chancellorsville. Its mission now is to catch up with Task Force 25, which has 10 ships in total, including the battle carriers Texas and Missouri. Its sailors, 30 officers and 300 enlisted on board, stands out in the open, hands behind their back, wearing the white sailor uniform. Tourists on board the USS Hornet Museum look on and cheer on their men and women in uniform. As the ship is coming near the old abandoned airfield, the captain looks out the window and looks through his binoculars. Looking out on the old airfield are two mutants standing in the middle, far apart from one another. Wait, that's Elliot's daughter. The hell is she doing? The sailors of the Chancellorsville look on at the middle of the airfield. The ship itself decides to slow down. Standing right in the middle, 10 yards apart, the two mutants, Harrington and Andersson, stare down at one another. Both are wearing different clothing. For Eleanor, she is wearing a black sleeveless shirt with bolts going down, black pants with fire going up, mixing with the bolts, no gloves, and her hair is in a ponytail. Anthony, in contrast, is wearing only a white t-shirt, a pair of gray stretchy jeans, and work boots. You mind telling me why you look like that? It's my fighting attire. What, is my body distracting you? Hey, don't get me wrong, those are some nice 32 triple Ds, but they're the least of my concern. Wait, how did he know what size they are? Also, even though there is a cruiser watching us, we should be far away from any human. Alright, are ready when you are. An evil smile appears on Eleanor's face. Don't worry. We'll just act like they're not there. And besides, this is going to be over in no time at all. She places her right arm on her left shoulder. She rubs it rapidly until it generates the bolts in her hand. She stops and clenches the bolts in her hand. She puts her left hand on her right. As she pulls the bolts apart, she creates two electro swords, one for each hand. Anthony simply puts his fists up like a boxer. Both mutants are ready. Hellraiser dashes forward, zigzagging across the pavement. Turbo only follows her movement with his eyes, even when she is moving at 200 miles per hour. He quickly ducks an incoming swinging blade. He dodges left, right, up, down, then jumps over both blades and swings a punch from above. Eleanor gets out of the way, dodging him. She thrusts the left electric sword towards Tony's head. He grabs the blade with his right hand, stopping it, and pushes her away with his kick. She stops herself by digging the blades into the ground. The blades disappears, but the bolts are still in her hands. She slams the bolts onto the dirt-layered concrete. The bolts travel towards Tony, but he sidesteps them. But they are following him. He runs to get away from them, but they are still catching up. Eleanor jumps into the air and hovers 100 feet above. She throws electro spears down below, but just like before, she misses because Tony is moving so fast while he is running away from the bolts moving along the ground. She waits until she gets the perfect time to throw another spear. Anthony drifts on the dirt, touching the ground with his right hand. The bolt disappears as he stops. Eleanor, seeing the moment, throws a spear at Tony. He lifts his hand up, dragging dirt and concrete with it, and catches the bolt. He closes his hand, and the bolt disappears. He clenches his fist full of dirt, concrete, and bolts, stomps on the ground, jumps up into the air, and punches Eleanor, even though she put her hands up to prevent getting punched in the face. The impact of Anthony's punch sends her back down to ground level, but she uses the bolts to stop her fall. Anthony falls back down on his feet like a cat. He looks at his right hand as he lands back down. Holy shit, this is awesome! So, is that it? Far from it. She stands up straight, raises her arms up, and throws them back down. 4 geysers of fire explode out of the ground in 4 corners around them. The flames travel into the grips of Harrington and turns into the rope of fire. She whips the left rope at Tony, but it misses. However, it straightens out and swings towards him like a baseball bat. Yet again, he dodges it. He dashes at Hellraiser for another punch. She swings the right rope at him. He grabs it with his left hand, causing it to disappear. With his left fist covered in fire, he punches her in the shoulder. Once again, she stops herself as she leaves a trail of fire. She looks back at Andersson with the most pissed off look on her face. Anthony looks at his fist, and the fire disappears. Okay, now I get it. Hey Zeus, wanna go all out? Thought you never asked. Tony and Hellraiser dashes towards one another. Both run at 200 miles per hour and clashes with each other several times. They create shockwave bursts on the ground or in midair. In between 2 hangars, Hal and Jeff are recording the whole ordeal without being spotted and eating human popcorn. Eleanor swings her electric sword but gets knocked away by Anthony's right fist. She swings again, but he dodges it. But he does get off balance, falling back on his hands on the dirt. Carrying the dirt as he brings his hands up, he throws another left punch, but this time she dodges it, standing back 200 meters away. She throws fire on the ground towards him. Tony gets out of the way, but Eleanor throws a rope of fire and finally catches him, stopping him in his tracks. Tied up like a lasso, Anthony has nowhere to go. Now, Eleanor has the opportunity. She extends her right arm, sticks out her middle and ring fingers and thumb forward, while her index and pinky fingers are folded. Electricity and fire circles around her arm in a pattern. In desperation, Tony grabs the rope with both of his hands. Eleanor, like a gun, fires from her hand her ultimate attack, the Hyper Cannon, a combination of her lightning and fire. Tony grips the rope and it disappears. He puts his hands up and blocks the incoming blast. It pushes him back a few inches. Suddenly, he grips his hands and as they close, the blast breaks apart in midair, staggering both mutants, Eleanor more so. Anthony quickly regains his balance, stomps on his foot, and with both of his hands covered in fire and electricity, he charges at Eleanor full speed. Eleanor looks up only to be met with a right punch to her face. Not only did the punch send her flying off of her feet, but the punch also created a mini explosion. Eleanor flies in the air, then tumbles on the ground and stops. But as the smoke clears, Anthony is still standing on his feet, now the victor. The U.S. cruiser Chancellorsville sounds the horn, catching the young man's attention. He waves his hand at the sailors who are cheering him on. He looks back at Eleanor, picking herself up from the dirt layer concrete. A flash of memory flickers in Anthony's mind. The flash shows the white-haired little girl in the exact same position as she is right in front of him. Anthony closes his eyes and shakes his head. There it goes again. All right, now I'm curious. You should probably check on her, huh? Oh, right. He runs over to her as she is still getting back up. His hand extends out to her to grab. Well, that's the match. You lost, but you did good. Albeit sloppy as fuck, though. Thanks for the fight, Zeus. Eleanor knocks his hand away and gets back to her feet. She brushes herself off and looks back at him. You got lucky. So, you mind telling me what you're hiding from me? Eleanor crosses her arms and turns away. If I did, you wouldn't be able to understand it. Oh, come on. Why keep it a secret when it's just the two of us? Because your dumbass will probably spill out to whoever you want. Anthony smiles and thinks of what's going on. Oh, I get it. It has something to do with my hands, doesn't it? You might say that. And the fact that you're falling in love with me. Eleanor's face blushes and turns back around with a flustered look. Why would I ever fall for a jackass like you? I know how this story goes. You'll act all hard to get, then the main character will be able to win the heart of the love interest via shenanigans, and then something else happens after that. He suddenly bursts out laughing in front of her. Holy shit. Thank God I'm holding back against that beast of a one Samantha, because I'd fuck the red right out of your eyes. Eleanor can't take this embarrassing moment no longer. Her hands generate electric bolts, causing Tony to stop laughing. If you dare spread that bullshit rumor, I swear you will regret it. Well, guess what? I live my life with no regrets, so not gonna change on that one. Anyway, bye-bye. Anthony runs away from her, but Hellraiser gives chase. All over Alaminda, she throws electro spears at Anthony, but they all miss as he's running back to San Francisco. He jumps, turns, and runs backwards, looking at an angry Hellraiser. You know you're being a sore loser, right? I bet you haven't lost that way before. For your information, what other person has made me go all out like that? And who was that person? Your ex-boyfriend? Shut up, Dragonborn! Dragon what? Eleanor realizes her mistake. Well, thanks for telling me. Catch you later, Zeus! He turns back around. A massive fire blooms off of his back. It circles around him like a shield. He jumps into the fire and then he's gone. Eleanor stops in midair. She looks confused. It looks like there's more to him than she realizes. But for now, oh my god, this is going to be a pain in the ass.